Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make some calculations with the Hamilton's method, and then go ahead and see if there's any paradoxes that are occurring. So in the previous lesson, we researched some of the paradoxes, the Alabama paradox, in which if a seat increases, a state could lose power. We have the new state paradox, in which if a new state joins, then a state can also lose power. And then also we have the population paradox, where if the population increases and seats are added proportionally, states could still lose power, and they shouldn't be losing power, is what is said. And so these are those paradoxes. So we're just going to kind of look how we even assess that paradox is occurring. So I started by finding the standard divisor of this problem that has to do with the 100 trucks that are serving these two metro areas of Northtown and Southtown. And we're just going to go ahead through here and make some of those calculations. So I know in order to find the standard quota, I'm going to go ahead and take and divide by the standard divisor. So the standard divisor being 1,000, so we get 10.45, so 10.45. You should notice if you're dividing by 1,000, then we should just be moving that decimal place over. So I'm just going to do that. So 89.55, and that sum does come out to be 100. And based off of Hamilton, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take and round down to the lower quota. Okay, that's Hamilton's method. So this becomes 10, this becomes 89. And you know, as we know, that gives us 99, okay, which means we are one truck short of the 100. So we got to find out where that goes. And if you notice, the decimals are 0.45 and 0.55 right there. So the Southtown has the highest fractional part of another truck. And as a result, because they have the highest fractional part of the truck, they're going to get the extra truck. So in other words, that makes this 90, that makes this 10, and that gives us a total of 100 trucks. So the apportionment of trucks to Southtown is they'd get 90, and Hamilton would get, and Northtown would only get 10. So next scene happens. I'm gonna go ahead and clear the draw. It says, Metro Garbage Company is planning to expand by adding a new district. So we have, by adding a new district, we have a new town. This is going to be, is new states an issue? Not population, but we're adding on a new state with its 5,250 homes. They promised the Metropolis City Council that they will buy 5 additional trucks to service Newtown so that the service of Northtown and Southtown would not be affected. Find the reallocation of the apportionment of each state. So in this case, we've added 5 new trucks, and for every 1,000, we had 5,250. For every 1,000, we should have a truck, which was on the previous problem, and we do. For 5,250, we've got 5 new trucks, so that should be in a fair apportionment based off of just basic proportions. So let's go ahead and let's make some calculations and see if the new state paradox occurs. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to write 10,450. I'm going to add 89,550. So all the numbers are staying the same. I'm going to add 5,250. And in this case, we get a new sum of 105,250 because we already had 100,000. 105,250, and now we need to divide it. We need to find the standard divisor, and we're going to do that by taking 105,250, and we are going to divide it by 100 105 trucks, not 100 trucks anymore, 105 trucks. And that will change things just a little bit. So let's do that. 105,250. 105,250 divided by 105 trucks. That's going to give us 1,002.38. So 1,002. How about we just go with 4? Let's see how that works out. Okay, and now we're going to find the standard quota. So I'm going to go through each one of these. 10, 4, 5, 0 divided by 1,002.4. I'm going to do 89,550 divided by 1,002.4. And I'm going to do one more. Let's take 5,250 divided by 1,002.4. Okay, and let's go ahead and write those down. So the standard quota for each one of these, we got this one as 10.42. The standard quota for this one was 89.33 and, or 34, I'm sorry, didn't see that rounding. Okay, and then we've got 5.237 or 5.24. Okay, and based off of Hamilton, okay, based off of Hamilton, we're going to go back to the lower quota. So this becomes 10, this becomes 89, this becomes 5, everything rounds down. That has given us a total of 10 plus 89 is 99, plus 4 is 104, okay? And now we're gonna look for that surplus because Hamilton says we give the extra to the one with the highest decimal. So we get 0.42, we get 0.34, and we get 0.24, okay? So we go to the highest decimal. The highest decimal is 0.42. So Northtown gets that extra truck, which means that Northtown is now going to get 11. Okay. Southtown goes to 89, but Newtown gets 5. That does bring us to 105. And as you can see, we've got a really big issue here. Originally, based off of what we had, originally Southtown was supposed to have 90 trucks. And Newtown gets the 5 they were supposed to get. Southtown was supposed to have 90. They previously had 90. And look at what happens. Their workforce decreases by 1 truck, while Northtown increases by 1 truck. And that's a big event, because the last thing we want is for Southtown or anybody to expect a certain amount of services or power within their community, and the government maybe even, and then all of a sudden we take that away just based off of our apportionment method. So this is what we'd call the new states paradox. That's how it shows up. You have to pay attention to the amount beforehand and then what happens after the change. So paradox.